all for coming out this evening. That was a piece called Fanfare 2000 by our 6th grade band, the first time they've ever performed in front of such a large audience, or any audience at all, I suppose. Sorry. That piece was the first one we ever did as a piece of music besides our book exercises. So that was the first time these students had played in parts, and it had been working on quarter notes, half notes, dotted half notes, whole notes, and their corresponding rests. So they had learned quite a few rhythms in that piece. Additionally, that piece challenged our flutes and our trumpets, and they were working up to their concert A pitch and concert B flat pitch. And then it also had trumpets and clarinets working on some F sharps. So learning a few additional notes in there as well. Let's see, also, we rewrote an alto part to make it a little bit more challenging for the altos and the bari sax, and so they were working up to playing more than an octave there as well. On that one, once we learned notes and rhythms, we were really trying to make sections contrast dynamically, playing soft and mysterious in certain sections, and then louder and more open and fanfare-like in certain sections. We hope you picked up on that. The next piece we're going to play is a piece called Old Hymn Tune, and it's just a traditional hymn, and this piece was not challenging rhythmically or even really note-wise, besides for our trumpets who were working up to that concert B-flat and flutes who were working up to the concert B-flat, but we were really trying to work on playing sustained and slow and soft, which for beginning instrumentalists isn't always what they want to do, and it's not always something that they're really great at right away. So we were working on those kinds of things. So we're going to play really soft and slow, guys, right? Yeah, all right. This piece has crash cymbals in it, which was a new instrument for percussionists. So we hope you enjoy Old Hymn Tune. The next part we are going to do is something completely new, and I'm hoping it works really well. And I think this is the 6th grade band's highlight of tonight / the most anxiety-driven part of the night, because they are on spotlight. So this year I decided that it would be really cool to show and remind people at this concert what it is like to be a beginner. And the best way I thought to do that was to have adults be beginners. And so we have videos of our teachers at the middle school learning an instrument. I did a brief 5-minute lesson with some teachers who volunteered, and they were asked to play the first 4 measures of hot cross buns. Some were successful, some were not, and some did a lot more than 4 measures, and some didn't quite make it through 4. So we have a video of each section, and then, or of each instrument, and then the 6th graders in that section are going to show kind of their growth from that beginning first 5 minutes of a lesson to now. So it's going to be like a flute video, flute section, clarinet video, clarinet section, and we should note that the students in each section were able to pick their exercise, and so some sections went for the absolute hardest exercise, some went for the shortest, some went for the easiest, please know that they picked those, and they are really excited to kind of spotlight their sections. So I also have to give a big shout out to 7th grader Brooklyn, who is running the technology. That is not a small task that I wouldn't want to have, but I know she's going to be awesome. So here we go, starting with our flutes.
Mr. Goodwell, 5th grade.
Mr. Vick, 4th grade, I've never played an instrument in my life.
Mr. Epplewell, 4th grade, I've never played an instrument either. I don't think I can do this in my life.
All right, now goes buns. 1, 2, ready, now. Pros, good for you guys. Sorry, quick thing. In the sound booth, is it possible to be a little louder on the video? Maybe? Up here. Cool, thank you.
Sanders, and I teach 4th grade. I'll play the clarinet.
Kim Osmond, clarinet, band rocks.
Janelle Daney, I am 4th grade as well, and I'm trying the clarinet.
Ready, and
I'm Amy Rydinger, I teach Fayette Middle School.
And I'm John Dreyer, and I teach PE also, and we are going to play for you. Mrs. Rydinger is really good at this.
Mr. Dreyer played this instrument when he was in school, so just saying. Here we go.
All right, I'm Mrs. Sletta.
I'm Mrs. Arnold.
We're the
Science
science department, and we're playing the trumpet. And both together, good.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Moore, and I'm the middle school nurse.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Lund, and I'm the facts teacher.
And we're going to play hot cross buns on our French horns. Wow!
Hello everyone, I am Mr. Huntley, the principal here at the middle school, and I'm going to play hot cross buns for you on this trombone here. I have to warn you, I did shred the baritone for 1/4 in 6th grade, so I think I got this pretty much nailed here, so we're going to give this a shot. So. I'm going to start on. That's the best I got.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Macheski, and I teach special ed.
And I'm Mrs. Christensen, and I teach history. And we're going to play hot cross buns on the baritone.
Okay.
Playing hot cross buns on the tuba. This is really hard.
Hi, I'm Mrs. McNeese and I teach art at the middle school here.
And I'm Mrs. Newell, and I teach 7th grade band.
And we're going to play hot cross buns on percussion.
1, 2, ready, go. Awesome job, guys. The last piece we're going to play is March a Doodle Dandy. And the 7th grade have a number of patriotic songs in their program because they performed at Veterans Day. So I decided to pick one for 6th grade here too. You'll notice little parts of Yankee Doodle in here. This was by far our most challenging piece rhythmically. They are moving in eighth notes. So before they were just doing whole, half, and quarter notes, and now they're moving twice as fast in eighth notes. Lots of independent lines, and this is especially tricky for our low brass people to be completely independent, counting quarter rests and half rests and whole rests, and not always getting cues and things, just being really confident in their independent lines. In this piece, you're going to hear a number of new percussion instruments, the tambourine, timpani, triangle, crash cymbals. On this piece, we also tried to find the balance of playing really nice and light and bouncy in certain spots, and then also playing a little bit broader and louder in other spots. I have to give a big shout out to Ashley, 6th grader back there. We have a couple of percussionists sick today, and one of them had crash cymbal solos, and Ashley's like, I'll try it. So she's going to go for it today, and she's going to be awesome. So she deserves a shout out there. We hope you enjoy the last piece of the 6th grade band, March a Doodle Dandy.
Seems like that happens under here. Evidently the middle's not froze yet.
All right, the 7th grade band is going to start their portion of the program with a piece called Monmouth Overture. And this piece is challenging in many ways, and the biggest one is the abundance of transitions, whether it be in style, tempo, articulation, just all across the board. Every transition presents us with something new, which is hard to adjust to as beginners on our instruments. So the transitions were the toughest, but this piece also has a ton of exposed low brass and low woodwind lines. They don't always get the melody, and they have it in quite a few different spots in this. This is tough for beginners in the same way that Old Hymn Tune was for the 6th grade, in that there's a lot of big phrases and slurs for them to grow and move through, and playing lyrically and slow is difficult at this age. So they were working really hard on our transitions and trying to portray all of those different styles, especially the slow and slurred ones. And then lastly, there is a section towards the end for the flutes that I think they have nightmares about. It goes up to a high G, which they had to learn I think 3 new notes just in this piece alone, and they did a really nice job tackling that challenge. So we hope you enjoy this first piece by the 7th grade band, Monmouth Overture. next piece we're going to play is Wind Dances by Richard Sacedo, and I was able to go to a session where Richard Sacedo was leading it and conducting it, and he's really, really passionate about writing exciting and challenging percussion parts and for large percussion sections. So if you'll notice, nearly every percussionist has a very interesting and active part, and there are a number of percussion breaks throughout it, whether it be 4-measure breaks or just one little measure. But this percussion part really challenged all those percussionists back there with these syncopated rhythms and 8-note, 16th-note combinations and all of those good things. So they did an awesome job working on this. I'm excited for you to hear them. The only other thing on this piece that was a really nice part to work on was making style changes and articulation changes without letting our tempo change as well. So we have really upbeat, dance-like style, and then we have more smooth and connected, but unlike that last piece where the tempo also changed, this one didn't, and we had to kind of defy the urge to go slower as we were playing more connected and smooth. So I hope you enjoy Wind Dances by the 7th grade band. The next piece we're going to play is a march. I think it's really important at this young age for students to be exposed to what it's like to play a march, since that is pretty much where all concert band originated from. This one, I think, was our biggest challenge musically and rhythmically, because there are it's very thinly scored. So there are moments where only upper woodwinds are playing, and there are moments where only low brass is playing, and really nothing else. There's nowhere to hide. So I think it's challenging for that reason. And there's also a ton of dotted 8/16 rhythms, which at this age is hard to make 100% accurate because it needs to be played on the one. Then there's E and it's hard to time that in the right spot. So they were working on that. And this is also just a huge roadmap game. So there's 2 repeat signs, which means there's 2 first and second endings. And then there's also a DC all fine where they have to go back to a sign halfway through the song and finish at the fine, which is about halfway through the song. So it's easy to get lost, and it's easy to not play quite as precise as you need to on these rhythms, but they do a really, really fine job with it. And I think, I don't know if this was their favorite, but I know that they've learned a lot in this piece, whether it be rhythmically or range-wise, or big leaps in the low brass when they're really exposed. So they've done a really nice job with this one. Please enjoy Silver Star March. The next 2 pieces were selected because we are featured at the middle school's Veterans Day program each year, and I think it's a really cool way to honor our veterans and play some of this music that is meant to show our American spirit and honor our country. So the next piece we're going to play is a piece called Let Freedom Ring, and it's a medley of patriotic tunes. The first one is America, the next one is My Country 'Tis of Thee, and the final one is God of Our Fathers. This one too works on those dotted 8/16 notes that we were talking about, we have to really subdivide the 16th notes and make sure it's one and and then this piece really, really pushed every instrument on their range. Flutes are playing up to high E naturals and Fs. Clarinets are playing up to high Gs and F sharps. Trumpets are playing up to high Gs and F sharps. Trombones are playing up to Ds, I believe. Ds. And I don't know that it pushes our alto saxes, but rhythmically it's very, very challenging. Let's see. Also, playing in concert F, which if you're a musician, we don't get to play our beloved flats in concert F. So remembering to play naturals and sharps is a challenge. Also, this piece has a very active percussion part. I'm not sure that the snare players have a single rest until maybe the last 8 measures. So they're really responsible for staying tight and keeping our time going throughout this piece. I think that's it. Enjoy Left, Read, and Ring. Thank you all again for coming this evening. It means a lot to these students to have you here and to feel your support. And thank you for encouraging them to pursue band and to practice and work hard on their instruments. They need that support and motivation, and I thank you all for what you're doing at home to make that happen. Please read through my thank yous in the program. I tend to forget these, so I need to read this here. The thank yous I truly mean from the bottom of my heart. A few I want to call out. First, if you look at the front of your program, Brittany Salazar, can you give a wave, Brittany? She drew that and designed the whole front. So yeah. We have a lot of talent in these groups and in the Montevideo Middle School, and it's cool to kind of tap into all those. Let's see, other people. Mike Connolly for helping me load that yellow truck and get it over here with all this equipment. Also Dan Hampton and Oliver Leafblad, who have helped me this evening and last night and the past 48 hours get ready for this evening. I do want to point out one thing, and I apologize if I'm bombarding you with emails sometimes, but March 5th is the date of our next concert. On the printed calendar, it says March 3rd, and then I was notified 24 hours after I send out all that paperwork to you that that is a voting night, and so we had to move it to Thursday the 5th. So please make sure that that's on your calendar. I'll be sending that in emails, but have that down. Before we finish and all rise for our national anthem, if you are able, after the concert, if you would like to stick around and help clear the stage of percussion and chairs and stands, you're welcome to, and we would appreciate it. But if you have to go, that is totally fine, and drive carefully home. So with that, let's all rise for our national anthem played by the 7th grade band. Thank you all for coming this evening.